I know more, far more than the average human being about the ugly, messy, tabloid breakup of Donald and Ivana Trump. I was a reporter in New York. I covered it constantly. It was the biggest story in the city. Donald's side said Ivana was asking for $150 million and the Plaza Hotel. Ivana's side came back and accused Donald of having an affair with Marla Maples, who became his second wife. It was a juicy story. It was an ugly story. It was a mess. It was also 25 years ago. Now, I don't say that Trump's 3 marriages and his behavior should be completely off limits in this presidential campaign. When I sat down with him recently in Trump Tower, I asked him whether he would be considered a good role model. But when the Daily Beast published a story yesterday about a 25-year-old deposition that was contained in a book that was published in 1993, I thought it was appalling and should never have been published and looked like a way to just sort of take Donald Trump down. In that deposition, as reported by this book, Ivana, giving the definition at a time of a very contentious divorce, said there was an incident in which she felt she had been raped by her husband, who she was still married to. She felt violated because of the way that he had sex with her. And the very thin read for this story was, well, Donald's talking about rapists coming in from Mexico, so here's a case of his ex-wife accusing him of rape. But in the book itself was a statement later provided by Ivana Trump, and this again is back in the early 90s, saying while she did feel violated, she did not mean that he had raped her in the criminal or literal sense. Today, in the last 24 hours, Ivana provided a statement completely disavowing this and saying, this was done in the heat of litigation and that she supports her husband and they are good friends. Of course, they have 3 children together. I just don't see any justification for trying to make a story out of a single allegation by an ex-wife about a single incident, which she has pretty much walked back. It just felt cheap and tawdry. And the one thing that was interesting in the story was the rather colorful language used by Michael Cohen, a special counsel to Donald Trump, who seemed to have pretty harsh words for the reporter at the Daily Beast, where I used to work under previous management, and saying, I will mess up your life, I will cost you every penny that you have, essentially threatening to file a $500 million lawsuit. Michael Cohen has now issued a narrow apology saying he shouldn't have said there is no such thing as a husband raping a wife. In fact, that is illegal in almost all states, I believe. But he didn't apologize for what he sees as a reprehensible story. And I just think this felt like the classic cheap shot, and I don't think this story is going to have any traction at all. There are a lot of things you can say about Donald Trump. There's a lot of fair criticism, and his personal life is part of that. But using Ivana from the divorce 25 years ago just didn't feel kosher.